Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
memories.
And so begins the final day of the Kunoichi Kerfuffle. We're here in the EU bracket. We've got Yippee Carry facing off against Yas, and this is a revenge story. Yippee Carry have struggled against Yas. They have been the skeletons in their closet, but it's time to excise those demons and see if the third time is the charm. My name's K-Wing, and I'm here with Fifi. Fifi, this is the third time these teams have met in this tournament. Do you think it's going to turn out differently?
I think it's definitely a possibility. All bets are off here in the lower finals, right? I mean, if we wanted to, we could say, I mean, surely Ayas will win it again. They won it in the group stage 2-0. It was decently convincing, right? And then coming into the upper semis, they were able to win it again, prove that it wasn't a fluke or anything. However, that one was a good bit closer, a 2-1. The first two maps, I would say, were closer than in the original series as well, but Suravasa, the third map, was a bit of a roll for Ayas. So in a longer series, you've got to wonder, will they be able to make Flashpoint work for them? So that will be something to keep in the back of your mind for sure. So, but starting here on Ilios, this makes a lot of sense as a map pick for Ayas. In the last series, they were able to win this one with, frankly, quite a bizarre composition. Sylvia has, throughout this tournament, been favoring the Hog.
Yeah, that they have, and they really have. Ayas has been pulling out a very crazy composition, especially on Ilios, pulling out the Roadhog, and it looks like that's exactly what we're going to be seeing as we hop into Ruins.
Yeah, I mean, this is just both of these teams' bread and butters. Yippee has been favoring this Zarya Genji a lot. I mean, quite a powerful composition at the time, and Ayas kind of leaning more into that comfort with the Roadhog.
That they have now already just trying to engage around the statue. Getting hooked out is Terra, nearly taking down Sylvia, but Sylvia is a master at pushing forward at just the right time and knowing when to back off, as Dominic nearly gonna go down, but two picks come in before Dominic can fall, and Ayas finds their stride, and Yippee Carry go right back to one.
Yeah, and this makes a lot of sense. Kayla now moving over to the Ana, because, I mean, frankly, Sylvia was just allowed to sit in space for free, right? The Roadhog has a lot of health, but not a lot of utility to protect themselves or the team. So this Ana switch makes a lot of sense. You can get the anti and almost kind of force out the Suzu for free.
That you can, and now as we push forward, Reese's getting that early pick onto Sabo means that Yippee can just push so much with so much more conviction. They don't have to worry about a tracer. What a bubble to protect that Genji from the hook of Sylvia. Just now, Dominic on the high ground looking for those charged up headshots, but Sylvia is going to be the first to fall. And Ayas, they're just crumpling down, chipped and falling apart. Genji, Reese's, Feces finding those final blows. Now just the stagger coming in, but Dominic will be taken out shortly.
Yeah, and I mean, the Ana doing wonders there, forcing out Sylvia. But I mean, one thing to mention, Reese's Feces is going to be someone to keep your eyes on this game. She has been doing excellent work on the Genji all tournament long, and I mean, showing it at the start of Ilios as well.
Yeah, now there's the blade, and Reese's gets taken down immediately. Dominic just dispatches her with incredible efficiency. Now Sunshine has that nano and is using it to great effect. Gonna use the ult immediately, fire into that Kitsune rush over and over again, but cannot find those headshots, cannot find the dinks, and cannot find elims. A lot of ults used on the side of Yippee Carry. The beat's gonna go out and just gets on to 3. to protect from the grab. Sabotabi gonna get taken out. Sylvia barely staying alive, trying to use that natural cover, but there's only so much you can do. Now Dominic on the ult has a chance, but is gonna get taken out by Reese's, delivering some penance and some comeuppance, but that point has been ticking up for Yippee Carry this entire time. Alexia's gonna go down. Sylvia is in a tough position, and that's just not good, but Kayla's gone. Sylvia finds the pick, and as this point finally flips over to Ayas, they do have 52%, but 75 for Yippee Carry.
I think that fight we saw very clearly why Sylvia likes to play the Roadhog, especially in these long fights where it's broken down, gets little scrappy, right? It's very easy for this hog to find some stray hooks, find some kills off of that, and that they do, but that's not a good start here in this fight for Ayas.
No, it's not. You're gonna need something big to come up from Dominic, but Tara's already on the point with this Orisa. Going to try and negate this whole hog, but can't stay alive for long. Reese's gonna get taken out, traded for Sylvia, and that's a trade you take if you're Yippee Carry. Time ticking up for Ayas. They're pushing through, and the headshot from Dominic takes out Unlucky Main. Now Sabotabi on the Tracer, looking to find the Ana, will find that kill. Nano coming in onto Tara, trying to be the last bastion of defense on the Orisa, but it will not be enough. The stagger is going to come in. The beat from Unlucky will get them and Reese's, but will they have the clutch? Will they have the X Factor in them? They're coming up to ults here. Yippee Carry, if they stagger in, could find some clutch ult, but Dominic's just hitting the shots, hitting one after another, and Ayas will take round one.
Yeah. And I mean, pretty good round from them. I mean, Yippee definitely fought back, but I'm a little worried because, I mean, the reason you don't see Hog much these days is because, surprise, he's not very good. There's things you can do to counter him. And Yippee should have known coming in to this series, right? They played yesterday against Ayas on Ilios, and Sylvia was just on the hog the whole time. So I'm kind of concerned that they didn't have some strategy coming in ready to shut that down, or maybe to play around it and just take out the team that doesn't have a tank's defensive utility. But yeah, maybe I'm getting worried too early over nothing, but not a good start.
No, not a great start for Yippee Carry. They need this win here if they want a chance at the grand finals and to get that fight against Chengdu. Already, both teams taking position on the point, trying to draw people out of position, but Kayla is already gone. Sabotabi finding that first pick immediately. Get back here, Tara, says Sylvia. Gonna get burst down late in the fight. Point going to immediately go to the side of Ayas.
Yeah, and I don't know, Yippee seemed kind of scared, like they're just playing back and waiting for Ayas to roll them over, and I mean, they will happily oblige, so yeah, I need to see more aggression here from Yippee Carry. Try to run down the Sojourn, or maybe the Kiriko if you can force out the TP, maybe even the Hog if he oversteps a little too much, but just sitting and waiting to die is not it.
No, it really isn't, and Reese is already going low. Sylvia charging up, but it's been Sabotabi's show so far this round. Finding that early pick onto Kayla was huge. And now coming into this next fight, Sunshine's over on the flank on the high ground, trying to put some pressure onto Ayas, and they're taking space incredibly effectively. Kayla seems to overshoot the immortality field, but Alexia's gonna go down. The pulse bomb takes out two. Sabotabi is just an incredible tracer, doing anything that she wants and just taking it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty harsh on Yippee so far, but I mean, it's hard to blame them when IS are just playing this good. They get their foot in the door, Yippee do, and then Sabo's just right there with a pulse bomb to instantly shut anything down. But now 75%, this is final fight. Yippee Carry, they're close to a couple ultimates. They've got to make something work if they want to stay in Ilios, and that's a good start.
That's a good start, but they immediately lose Reese's. Dominic has this ult on high ground, but they're not going to stay alive long enough to use it, as Sunshine's going to hit the right click incredibly well, going to use the ult, trying to take down Sylvia, but they get the take a breather off. They get that E. Alexia tries to save them, but Sunshine is there and waiting. And finally, Yippee Carry can take a breath.
Yeah, and I mean, that's about as good as you could have asked for. One ultimate expended, they get the point back. They've got 4 to work with now. Now it's about cycling it and holding on to this. Unfortunately for them, I think this Orisa comp is better at holding the space than taking it. So now we'll have to see what they can do with this early window, though.
Early window trying to put some pressure onto Ayas, but if they can't get a lot of value out of it, it's not going to be looking good. And there's the whole hog from Sylvia trying to just put in the pressure. Terra gonna go down, but so will Alexia. The blade from Reese's is there to keep the hopes and dreams of Yippee alive, but they're using so many of their ults, and it's just gone. And what a hop, skip and a jump away from Sunshine, but they cannot escape it, run from it, dread it. Aw, Yas arrives all the same, no matter what Reese's Species is gonna do. It will just be
stunned out of the pulse.
Away.
This is still winnable.
Stunned out of the pulse. There is a chance here with the quick comebacks, but Kayla's gone. Alexia needs to get taken out, but it's just not there. They'll get taken out late in the fight. They lose that support. It could be the start of something for Yippee Carry, but they need quick comebacks, and they need more picks. They can't just wait for Alexia to come back because they'll come back so quickly, and the devastation. But Ayas will take Ilios in solid fashion, and that will be that round. Map 1 going to Ayas.
Yeah. And I mean, just excellent work from them. I mean, this hog comp has clearly been a comfort pick, and they're showing why, right? Just beautiful play on it. It's quite a funny comp, and I mean, you gotta feel for Yippee because you don't scrim against this ever. So how do you know what to do against it, right? It's quite difficult. And Ilios, I mean, a very sensible pick there from Ayas. Definitely works quite well to the Hog's strengths. So now coming in, Yippee will have the map pick for map 2. We'll get to pick something that should make it a little more difficult for that, but I think the problem is, right, sure, Sylvia has been opting into this quite a bit, but that doesn't mean Ayas are bad at the other compositions. They are still incredibly good, in fact.
Yeah, I think if we were going to be betting on what map is going to be next, I think we'd probably have to go Hollywood. It was the one map in Winners Semis that Yippee Carry found success on. They were able to effectively stop Ayas in their tracks and just make them look lost, especially on point B, especially on the streets phase. Ayas really struggled with the intensive high ground that Hollywood provides, and it was where Yippee Carry came alive. It was dominant. They finished the map with over a minute left, and were able to stop Ayas even when they had like a 4 or 5 minute time bank coming into street space. They were able to drain that down entirely and just take them out. And it was the one point where Sylvia looked completely lost, switched between so many different tank heroes, the Junker, the Winston, the Diva, the Roadhog. All of those heroes came out on Hollywood. I think we also saw Zarya just trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the wall and see what sticks. And that is where we saw Ayas looking mortal. So I think if we want to see an even scoreline, you're gonna see a Hollywood pick. Let's see if I'm right. Hollywood, hey!
Yeah, but my concern here for Yippee is, yes, sure, you won last time 3-1, but I think part of that comes down to, as you were saying, a a little bit of overcooking from Ayas perchance, right? They started on the Roadhog, which I just don't think Hollywood plays to the favor of that at all. Stayed on it a little too long, right? And then when they swapped a bit too late, and then on their attack, they were forcing Reinhardt through to second point. It's so difficult against all of that high ground to be running the Rhine, and stayed on it too long. Then, as you were saying, little bit of mystery heroes shenanigans going on. Didn't know what they wanted to do. So now if they've gone back and they looked at that map and they were like, okay, let's solidify what do we want to run here, and let's not keep switching comps, keep trying to throw things against the wall, then I think they should have, at the very least, a much better chance. And looking at that loss, they can also see what Yippee were doing to try and shut them down and adjust for that, whereas now Yippee won't know how Ayas will adjust to make their own adjustments. So we'll have to see. This is kind of going to just be a bit of a skill up matchup now, right? Can Yippee outplay this Reinhardt composition?
I think Ayas are Ayas trying to do a
Oh,
close
they're spawn
hold.
holding.
They're gonna try and hold the
There's no
close
way Yippee
high
can know
ground.
about this.
There's no way they know.
Wait.
Oh no!
They checked.
They check that. They check that. I just run to point. They TP. What? What a bamboozle right now. This is absolutely insane. They teleport over. They leave their bastion. They got to deal with two angles, and Sabotabi's just going absolutely crazy on the bastion. What just happened?
Okay, I mean, they TP over onto Yippee Kari, right? And you're just not ready for a Reinhardt that close to you that fast, and Sabo just stays on the high ground, pre-firing, and it just goes perfectly. But fortunately for Yippee, Ayas take that and they back up. So now we're back to a fairly normal fight.
Back to as close as we can get to a normal fight, as already the engage comes in. They're gonna TP right on top of Yippee Carry. They know that they can take that close range engagement, but Kayla's gonna go down. Sabotabi finding a perfect grenade, and just, I mean, this is devastating for Yippee Carry. Sabotabi died. What?
Okay, well, that is a lot of damage off of the table. Sabo's going to take a minute to come back, although she can use the artillery to kind of supplement in the meantime.
Amplification matrix coming in, and there's the artillery form coming in. Kayla's gone again, and the artillery form gets two. Sabotabi doesn't even need to be in the fight to still be the
wing.
frickin' P.
Oh, this is all going wrong. Like, Ayas are just bamboozling Yippee repeatedly. They just keep disrespecting their space, TPing right into it, pinning right into it, and Yippee don't know what to do. They're just lost. And I don't know, maybe something will change this fight. They've got some ultimates. They can focus on playing around that, but if this trend continues, I mean, the series could just be over.
Yeah, I mean, you have the blade, and there it comes from Reese's. The amplification matrix thrown onto the high ground. Kayla's gonna go down.
The BAP that goes down.
Sabo. The BAP gone again for Yippee Carry. The blade finds absolutely nothing. I mean, Fifi, this is just looking done. This is looking done and dusted. And no, not the stagger onto Terra. You don't have to do that to them, Yas. You don't have to do it.
No, they're not going in deeper.
No.
What is this?
What is this? Come on. Oh, Yas, you don't have to do this. This isn't Pugs. This is Losers Finals. You're playing for money.
You look at 100 outcomes before this game of what you think could happen.
Stoya. Check your corners, folks. Goodbye.
Oh, thank God. You look at 100 outcomes for this game, and none of them are you expecting Ayas to dominate even harder than before. I don't have words.
A lot of charge coming in for Terra, using the Graviton Surge very effectively. Gonna try and combo it up. Will take out Sylvia. but might need just a little bit more because Reese's is gone. They have the picks. They're running through. Terra's picking up massive amounts of damage with this full charge. Zarya taking Yippee Carry by the scruff of their collar into streets.
Okay. There we go. They finally figured out. They used ultimates to combo. Nice stop there on Sylvia's. I don't know
that?
why Sylvia goes
What
for
was
that.
that?
That actually could be a pretty big mistake because now the Reinhardt
Yeah.
can't set up on that. Because, I mean, streets, especially attacking, is quite brutal to get the high ground as a Reinhardt. But, you know, if you're defending, you can just stage on that high ground and then use your TP or just drop from there. But now Yippee have the high ground advantage. And if they can just deny Ayas from getting this back, I mean, they're looking good.
That they are, and they have to. Oh, this is smart from Ayas. They're forcing Cart. They're saying you have to give up the high ground presence, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. Yippee Carry just has to play on the high ground, and the pin comes in. Sabotabi just gets the pick, and Sunshine gets pinned into Narnia. Oh gosh, it's all going wrong. And Sylvia showing that wall who's boss.
Wing, I don't know how many people will understand this reference, but I remember in season 4 of Owl, Checkmate one time pulled out the Reinhardt, and it was insane to watch. Was gapping Fearless, just pinning every time. And Sylvia, I feel like, has learned from the Checkmate school of Reinhardt, just entirely disrespecting Yippee Kari, just always pinning in, and I mean trying to go for it again.
Yeah, trying there. Sunshine will get that first pick. Sabotabi, I mean, it's the blade, it's the grab, it's everything. They're fine to lose this fight, and they will, but a very expensive engage for Yippee Carry.
Yeah, fortunately though, that is, I mean, you did have to use 2 big ults, but you do get the beat, so it's not for nothing in exchange. And now also Dominic moving over to the Widow, going to lose the ult charge, and also lose the utility of the Symmetra that's been throwing Yippee for a loop this whole game. So I don't know about that pick too much, but we'll see if they can make it work.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They do have the Shatter and the Artillery for him, but they don't have their Widowmaker. Oh, that's just devastating now for Ayas. And Reese's going wild with this Genji, already picking up 2 and looking to dash right in to this small enclosed room and just ruin their lives. There's the amplification matrix, and Sabotabi finds that first pick. Beat has to come in to sustain Yippee Carry. Reese's is low, but they'll find the pick, the Shatter into the back line for the defense. Ayas just shutting it down. I mean, Yippee Carry, this could have been a lot worse, but this was not the performance we saw from them yesterday on Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely not. This is a lot closer to the first map we saw between these two teams of Hollywood. And I mean, I would say even that was closer, so there's definitely reason to be worried here if you're Yippee Kari, but I think you also got to take a bit of a mental reset, okay? I mean, the first map did not go your way, not even close. This attack did not go great, especially the first like 3 minutes. They turned it around. They made a lot more of it than it was looking like they were going to. But it wasn't pretty. So I think they need to kind of just take a deep breath, refocus here, because if you just kind of let this snowball, if you let it get to you, right, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You're just going to lose at that point. So I think Yippee need to just calm down a little bit, play their game, and be able to deal with the shenanigans coming out of Ayas here. All these TP plays, right, they can be shut down. They can be dealt with. There's a reason we don't always see Reinhardt's pinning everywhere. It's because it's not actually that good. It's just really difficult to deal with in the moment. So if they can take this time to figure out what they want to do about that, they can definitely shut down Ayas and get themselves back in this.
I'm interested in Dominic. Was on the Hanzo, but switching over to the Symmetra. We're going to see some bit of silly, goofy TP play. from Ayas, just waiting up in the choke. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell they're gonna TP right up to high ground and jump right in. And now it's Sabotabi just waiting for the TP to engage and just jumping right in, really forcing Yippee Carry onto the back foot. But they are trapped a little bit. They've kind of flipped the script in a bad way. Now they're trying to push through a very tight choke. They're going to TP right on top of them again, just trying to outbrawl. But Sylvie's going to get absolutely shredded by the Bastion. And that is the reason we don't see this happening all the time, Beefy.
Wink, it's perfect. Exactly what I said, right? Both times. The first time, they just kite out the TP. They live, which is better than it has gone most of the times. Great. And then the second time, the TP just puts them in the middle of Yippie's team. And that just means that Ayas are surrounded. And then they have to take damage from every angle. And they get destroyed for it. Excellent adaptation from Yippee Kari.
Yeah, and they already got the pick onto Sabotabi. They're going to use the artillery form just to hit the retreating forces of Ayas. And now Ayas are starting to struggle.
Although the lamp does get forced early, this is potentially a chance here for Ayas.
It is, but here comes the blade. It's already picking up the Symmetra. 2 for Reese's. Yippee Kari doing pretty well, but losing your tank is not a great start, especially the Zarya losing that charge.
Yeah. Not great, especially when you've got that grab online. You want your Zarya for the damage for the follow-up on that ultimate. She will be back in time, but again, just won't have that energy build-up window just to make sure that they do have their tank ready to go.
Dominic gets a deflect kill onto Kayla. Dominic's playing Symmetra. What? I'm so utterly but I don't know what that kill feed was. Sabotabi gets the kill onto Sunshine, and that's just, Yas just pushing through. One of the most difficult parts of this, just gone, dash on the rocks, and they will take first point and move on to streets.
Okay, but they did burn a significant amount of time and show that they can deal with this, right? Doesn't work out that fight, but especially if they can just get high ground control early, they do have a chance. My one concern is, yes, they have this high ground, but I'm looking at their ult bank. 50% is the closest to anything. So this will be quite a difficult fight to win here.
It will be a difficult fight. I mean, Sylvia's coming up onto the Shatter, and Alexia is rushing towards the amplification. Reese's is gone, and the cart destroys the TP, and it's just not looking good. But the aggression is still there from Sylvia, using their own 2 legs to seal it.
Yeah. And the one ult Ayas have, they hold on to. They build up to a window now too, so still ult advantage here for Ayas. I mean, if you're Yippee, you were hoping to maybe, if you lose that fight, you're hoping to get out the ults, but you lose and you get out. And your BAP's already gone.
Oh, you lose Kayla. The Shatter takes out your Bastion. And Yas have just absolutely destroyed it. Sabotabi picking up 4 kills. And Yas take Hollywood in style. 2-0 now. And Yippee Carry are going into what might be their weakest map. The map they've struggled on so much. Needing a win.
Yeah. Absolutely not where you want to be. The one advantage that I'm seeing when it comes to this is we've only seen them on Suravasa so far, which it didn't go well. But because they lost Hollywood, they do have the map pick. They can go to New Junk City instead, and maybe they've got something there worked out that, I mean, it just isn't the same on Suravasa, right? And if they can win that, right, get their foot back in the door, right, back in the series, then there is a chance for a reverse sweep. And I definitely could see it happening, right? I mean, there was definitely a little bit of hope there for like 3 minutes on first for the defense, right? They were making it work. There did look like there was an opportunity for them to win that map. So if they can do that, but extend it out so that it's not just a couple minutes in one map, but it's a full map, right? Then they can get some momentum back on their side, get a map win, and I think what your absolute best case scenario is not only do they do that, but maybe they can then force Ayas to change up what they're doing, change their strategy, say, oh well, they've adapted to our Bastion sim now, so we can't play that, and play something that they're weaker on, and then that could definitely give Yippee the chance to overwhelm Ayas and maybe get a reverse sweep. But all of this speculation absolutely needs to start right now.
Well, I mean, it needs to start right now, but I believe we're going to have a quick break.
Right later.
Right later. So we're going to take a quick break so that Ayas and Yippee Carry can go back to the locker rooms, take a swig of sports beverage, and just really try and figure out what they're going to do into what could be the final map, what could send Ayas to a rematch with Chengdu. So don't go anywhere. Don't change that Twitch channel. We'll be right back with the conclusion of this match. We'll see you shortly. And welcome back. Before we went to the break, we had a pretty dominant performance by Ayas. So now it is up to Yippee Carry. They are on what could be the last map of their tournament lives, and it's gonna be New Junk City. So the question is, we've seen them struggle on Suravasa. If we go to New Junk City, is it going to be the difference maker? Is it going to help them turn this series around and start up the reverse sweep and potentially get the chance to move on, or will get the chance to move on to the grand finals, guarantee themselves $75 of the prize pool, and get a shot at taking down the Chengdu Guardians?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's possible. I think New Junk City, one of the better maps for it to be done on, right? There's less areas for a Symmetra to put some silly teleports, and a lot easier positions to be able to kite out a Bastion. So I think for a map that doesn't work to Ayas's strengths, New Junk City definitely, and the Zarya Genji, on the other hand, works quite well here on New Junk City. So I think if Yippee Card keep playing to this strength and keep doing what they were able to do for a little bit there on Hollywood, and keep playing around those TPs, around the Bastion, then there definitely is a chance to get this reverse sweep started. But the one time we have seen their flashpoint so far it wasn't pretty. They got kind of wiped out by Ayas on Suravasa. This is a different map, but still the same type, so a little bit of a concern. But I definitely think Yippee can get back into this.
And already engaging. Oh, it looks like we do have some.
Ooh.
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 Ooh. We're gonna have a little quick second here. We had a small bit of an oopsie daisy, with our code. With the addition of Flashpoint being so new, sometimes the old codes that we have Flashpoint come up as the open queue mode, which puts tank health at like 300, and it's all goofy and silly. So we're off fixing that. It's a good thing we had a quick moment there. And I don't know. I'm looking at Yippee and all of their maps. I don't think we've seen them on New Junk City, at least in the bracket stage. They have either gone to Suravasa through their opponent. They've either gone to Suravasa through their opponent's pick, or they have finished the game before Flashpoint was required. So in a first to two, they won it 2-0. We've only seen them on Suravasa for Flashpoint, and even in their game against Jazzy's E-Kittens, they struggled hard on Suravasa. 3-2 was the final map score there. So a very tough map type in general for our friends Yippee Carry. But the question is New Junk City the answer? And I think it's yes. I think it is the answer here.
Yeah. It is funny though, because of that quick restart, there will be no illusions as to what's going on here. Both of these teams know for sure that the other team will keep sticking with it. For Ayas, the Bastion, the Metra, no surprises. For Yippee Kari, Zar Genji, nothing new here. Only difference will be the map and maybe how these teams react to their opponents. Actually, Kaylee going over to the Ana, I don't know if that's the right choice, but maybe we'll have to see if they can be landing some big anti-nades.
I think it could be a good idea to use the antis on the TP to try and really push forward, or to try and cancel out some aggression coming in from Sylvia. As already we see that trademark push coming in, and Sabotabi and Dominic are picking up some of their own. The charge coming in, pins the Zarya, and just staggers her out. So, it's going pretty well for Ayas, I would say, just generally. Pretty well.
That's a little concerning. I feel like Yippee Kari were they outthought themselves there with the Ana. They sent Kayla off for a flank nade, and then the rest of the team kind of fell apart without the healing. Didn't really know what to do. As
Sylvia? Was Sylvia just emoting? Sylvia? Or is ground controlled on Major Tom right now? What? What just happened there? Report Sylvia trolling. Yeah. What was that? You only get a few fights per flashpoint, guys.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you're set up quite well there. I mean, the thing is, if you need to be taking the space on this point with the Bastion Sim, it's quite difficult. But like once you have that control, you can use it quite effectively. But trolling from Sylvia there, I mean, this gets Yippee back into this point.
It does, and a huge anti-nade lands onto 3. Kayla will get pinned out. But will it be worth it, I ask? They do get Alexia on the side of Ayas. Pin does not reach the Zarya, so Sylvia gonna get taken down. And Yippee Kari will take another fight. If they get this stagger onto the Symmetra, they have so much going for them.
Yeah, I think they need to stop going for these all or nothing flank nades, though. Right? I mean, sure, they win the fight, but it's very close. That could have gone the way of Ayas, and there's just no reason to throw away your Ana for a nade. Like, you can just look for some slight off angles, get those nades from a safe, comfortable position, and still keep your Ana alive. But last fight here now for Ayas.
Yeah, a lot of ults coming in. Wall is the first to go. Now onto Sylvia on the Reinhardt. Has the Shatter. Gonna look to draw out the bubbles, but it's gonna get stuck in the grab. Gonna get sliced apart by this blade. And there goes Reese's picking up 3. A big fight investment for Yippee Kari, but they will get Flashpoint 1. That was 4 ults for 1.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I get wanting to maybe overinvest a little bit to make sure you get that first point, but 4 ultimates, and I mean, Ayas didn't use much of anything, so now coming into this second flashpoint, they have a huge advantage.
They have a massive advantage to get this positioning. They have the beat, they have the shatter, and they have the window, they have the artillery form, they have 4 ults, and there's only the nano.
They might not even need to use it.
They might not even need to use a single ultimate because they get the pick onto Terra. They're gonna use the artillery form just to get 2 picks. Ah, yes. Sabotabi can pop off on anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a really nice pin there from Sylvia. I mean, Terra overstepping a little bit, gets booped in by Sylvia, and not even able to get Nano to survive. And, I mean, again, Ayas, they have point control, they have the defensive positioning, and they still have a considerable ultimate advantage. I mean, as things are going, this looks like the second point will go pretty easily for Ayas.
It does. They still have 3 ultimates. And Yippee Kari, I mean, they're charging up to some of theirs, but they only have the nano. They're going to use it onto Reese's, and Reese's isn't going to do much at all. Sunshine's going to get taken down, and there goes Reese's. Yippee Kari just cannot find a break. They're going to get the pin onto the Zarya, and it's just not looking good for Yippee Kari.
And I think the worst part is, I mean, I don't think there's a touch here. So
no,
throughout this whole point, Ayas have managed to just win free fights pretty much. And again, they're now closer to this next point, this third. And they still have a good ult bank. They're only using at most 1 ultimate a fight. And I mean, Yippee just can't force anything more out of them. But fortunately for them, their ult rotation is now coming around to their favor. So, I mean, this is going to be an incredibly important fight, but they have to make sure not to blow everything.
Yeah, I want to see the same discipline we've seen from Ayas. There's the discipline, and there's the pick onto Noya, but Unlucky Main gets taken out by the Fire Strike. Oh, it's not looking good. They get the pick on the Reese's, but they need more Sunshine with the ult. Can't find a single thing. And actually, Alexia drops the amplification matrix and just gets deleted from the game. Sunshine, with so little HP, survives to fight another day. And Yippee Carry, well, I say that.
Oh
Kayla
no.
gets taken
And
out on
staggered.
Sunshine. No way. They get staggered out.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good for Yippee, but I think the crucial thing is Unlucky Main going down. So when it gets scrappy, they don't have that extra beat health to keep themselves alive. So again, yes, with this Reinhardt can just stuff Yippee Kari. But again, Yippee still have a lot to work with here. So another good chance to get back into this.
Yeah, this is their chance, and they do have a really good ult advantage. It's the grab and the blade combo, but Reese's gets taken down immediately. Reese's just gets burst down. Sabotabi with the machine gun fire taken down insanely well, but Yippee Carry is coming up with big picks from their support, and Sunshine absolutely lighting up the kill feed, somehow finding a way for Yippee Carry to stay alive.
Okay, and there it is. Yippee, they finally break the cycle of just not being able to win no matter what they throw at Ayas. And they do have a chance now to win this point, especially if Sunshine can just hit a big pulse bomb. That would be huge, and now they have the space. Although now I'm kind of concerned because they've moved over to the Winston, and I think this plays more into the Ryan.
Yeah, the Winston getting nanoed, and Kayla goes down immediately. Just getting taken down first. And that pulse bomb nearly takes out Sunshine. Reese's gone. It's just not looking good. Tara does get the kill onto the Baptiste, but Sunshine's gone.
This is clutchable.
Tara, this is winnable for Yippee Carry. They have the advantage. It's 1v2 just against the Reinhardt. This Lucio just needs to be evasive and not get hit by that hammer. And it looks like that just might be it, but Noya is back for Ayas. The shatter comes in, and it's gonna
It gets booped.
What gets moved away? The charge gets moved away. What a play there from Unlucky Main, finding such a play, but now it's a full fight. It's no longer scrappy. The anti comes in onto Sylvia, but kept alive by the immortality field. Alexia with the amplification matrix, the overtime wick burning down. Kayla's gone. Sabotabi finds the pick of a lifetime and is looking for more, decimates the support line, and will take second flashpoint for Ayas.
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking good for Yippee Kari. I mean, there was definitely a chance to clutch up that fight, but I feel like the fights they are winning are just these really scrappy fights where they're managing to win out these situations, but like that's not something you can be consistently reliant on here for Yippee if you're gonna win even this map, but especially if you're gonna reverse sweep. So, I mean, they're gonna have to be able to do a little bit more. And I think that starts with keeping Kayla alive, because they've been going down consistently fairly early, and then without that healing, the team kind of falls apart.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And Unlucky Main and Sunshine are gone. Reese's, though, is not ready to let this go. Picks up 2, making this an even 3v3. The charge comes in from Sylvia, gonna get anti-nated immediately. And there goes the immortality field. The blade pulled out by Reese's, gonna get swung at. Reese's pulls out the blade with such low HP and with such a scrappy fight. I think it comes down to a Tracer 1v1 between Sabo and Sunshine. And it's gonna be Sunshine to pick up the fight. But there's a scrappy fight going on the point with the Ana barely staying alive, dancing in the bubble, but Sunshine's there to clean it up, and Yippee Carry take the point.
Wing, this is not good for my heart.
I know!
But this can't keep happening. They cannot keep relying on just winning out these scrappy fights. They're down 2 at the start. Reese's, thankfully for them, is able to bring it back, but it can't keep happening like this. This is not how you bring back a series. So I don't even know, but
Nano
it can't keep going on like this.
Nano onto Terra, pulse bomb thrown in, and picks up Alexia. What a play there, throwing in the pulse bomb while the immortality was still up, but it goes down. Dominic takes out Reese's with the turret like it's 2017 Torb. Oh goodness, but Yippee Carey has found a solid fight win, and I don't think they're gonna get a contest, the members of Ayas. It's just the Junker Queen there, and if she feeds in, it'll be really bad. So it's gonna come down to the last point here on this flashpoint as the pulse bomb comes in.
Unlucky's down.
Unlucky gets taken out. Noya finds a pick. No, this is all falling apart for Yippee Carey. They're gonna beat just to seal the fight, and Yippee Carey just can't find it.
Okay, but nothing in the tank now for Ayas. They've moved over to a bizarre composition. And, I mean, I said it earlier, but one of the best things that could happen here for Yippee is if they can disrupt Ayas's flow and force them off of that Bastion. And they are able to do that, but, I mean, this composition does do pretty well into the Winston. But one last chance here for Yippee Carey. If they cannot win this fight, they cannot win this point, they're out 3-0.
Yeah, they have the ults to maybe do it, but it's so close. Ayas, one fight left to send them to grand finals, and it just has to come down to surviving these two ultimates. There they come, the beat and Unlucky Main. Sunshine finds the pick onto Alexia. What
That's
could
big.
be a huge pick. Reese's will go down, but DPS gone. Dominic getting hit by the Fists of Fury from Terra, but Terra gets taken down. It's going to be a scrappy fight on point. The sleep comes in, cancels out the carnage from Sylvia. Sylvia can't rampage. Overtime, but nearly burns down. But Yippee Carey is just able to touch the point with the sole of their pinky toes, Fifi, and they keep themselves alive one more point.
Yeah. But I mean, again, I hate to keep harping on it, but it feels like they are doing just that. They are just keeping themselves alive. And you've got to wonder how long that will continue to work for. But for now, I mean, they've just got to focus on doing it once more. Maybe after the map, they work on doing a little bit more than that. But for now, it's just about taking this final point. But
oh, there's the
Sylvia's
rampage.
Already in.
The rampage comes in and finds two. It's going to be Unlucky Main cleaned up. Kayla seemed to fall, and Yippee Carey just dashed on the rocks immediately. Terra does well in the back line, but it's not going to help when your front line is getting dismantled.
I think what Yippee should do is they should go JQ and they should go the Kiriko or Zarya works, right? I think the problem is the Winston just is too vulnerable to this composition. So I mean, just any changes, this definitely is good. You can still help your Genji out with the bubbles, and I mean, this is a composition they are comfortable on. And now Ayas are on the bizarre, unprovoked composition.
And Reese's has the blade. This needs to be huge here. It's the one ult they've got, and they need to use it before Noya can charge up to this beat, get some early kills, and push in. They can't just wait for poke, because Noya is charging up 5% and waiting, just waiting for this blade to come out. There's the Kitsune rush. The blade comes in, needs to find the pick onto Noya. Noya is going to go down, but so does Kayla. That's two for Reese's, picking up a third. Reese's grabs victory from the jaws of defeat, and Yippee Carey are just on the brink.
Yeah, but so are Ayas 94%.
Oh, gosh.
Again, barely keeping themselves alive every time. The final hour. So Yippee, they cannot lose another fight here on New Junk City. They have to win this out to stay in the Kunoichi Kerfuffle.
And they don't have a lot of ults to do it with. The Molten Core coming in from Dominic immediately. There's the Pulse Bomb thrown in. Can't find Kayla on the Baptiste, but that Immortality Field is going to get taken out.
Oh, the Bap's already down.
The Bap's gone. Sylvia is swinging for the fences, looking to go to Grands, and it looks like it's a Grand Slam for Grand Finals and Yippee Carey. They go as far as they can. They push, and they push, and they push, but they will only get the third place. They will be sent out of the tournament, and our Grand Finals is Ayas trying desperately for a rematch against Chengdu, trying to change their fortunes in Grands.
Yeah. I mean, just excellently played from Ayas. They were a different beast today. But I mean, I've got to give a lot of props to Yippee, right? I mean, it didn't look great at the start, but I mean, I think, again, that's just Ayas have been playing incredibly today. And I think if they had a little bit more time, Yippee could have been able to make the adjustments and get back into it. But unfortunately, that's just it. They don't have that time. It's a first to 3. So they're not able to get back into it. So Ayas will win it out. And I think now looking towards the grands, definitely a good chance. Ayas got 3-0'd yesterday. However, was still close. And now with how good they're looking and with this wind in their sails from this pretty convincing victory, right? I think they could keep it going, and they definitely will be able to take it to the Chengdu Guardians.
I think that that's going to be an incredibly exciting game. And I mean, Ayas, can we just talk about the complete turnaround we've seen from them? Because, I mean, you said it was pretty close, but I'm sure it didn't feel that way for the members of Ayas last night, because that was a devastating defeat to fight out such a close fight and to get absolutely just to look like you were just a step behind all the time had to be disheartening. But they don't let it turn into their next game. They don't let winners finals turn into losers finals, and they come back with the spirit of a lion just roaring through their next best champion, their next best competition. So I think that if you're Chengdu Hunters, you are facing a very different beast. Chengdu Hunters, no. Chengdu Guardians. Chengdu Hunters is the owl team. Was the owl team. The
Yeah,
Chengdu
only one of these teams still exists.
only. Anyway, if you're the Chengdu Guardians, you have got a whole new attack to be trying to guard against. And we're going to be seeing that shortly. But this is it for me personally for
Goodbye.
this tournament. Yeah, but I do want to give a big shout out to all the people behind the scenes who have made this possible and made this happen. People like Tiny Shiny coordinating the talent, people like Headrammer from CGL, and the entire Kunoichi staff, our wonderful producer Melu, and the absolute horde of observers that we've brought along, Zeusor Unfeatured, Orange, and Aviv specifically, and all the people and viewers like you. Thank you. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get in your counterpart, Fifi. I believe that's going to be Chef Billy. So you're in for quite a treat today, dear viewers. We'll be right back with grand finals to see if Ayas can take the crown away from the Guardians, or if the Guardians will stake their claim and take it the same. We will see you in just a moment. Goodbye.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Hello and welcome back to the EU Kunoichi Kerfuffle. I'm Fifi, joined here by Chef Billy this time for the grand finals. We've got Chengdu Guardians facing off against Ayas.
I mean, oh yes, I had to. I'm gay. It is in my
I'm
contract.
sorry, I need to
have
put a little bit more into it next time. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Ayas.
Yes. Okay, but I mean, they really did have a dominant series there over Yippee Kari, and I mean, it was a bit of a tank diff. If I'm being completely honest, you can't keep running the Zarya exclusively, especially when you're swapping up the tanks like that. It's just a no-brainer to me. But they do get third place, so I mean, it's still a decent little payday there for Team Yippee Kari. But now, all yes have to turn their attention to Chengdu Guardians, and I mean, they made the Valiant Guardians look a little bit underwhelming yesterday, and I thought that the Valiant Guardians were actually going to be one of those teams that just steamrolled through the tournament, but Chengdu really opened my eyes yesterday. So this is going to be a very challenging set here for Ayas. There is no carryover from the winners bracket finals, so this is going to be a first true first to four. So we've got definitely all the map types going to be covered here. We'll get beyond Flashpoint finally, and we'll see what's on the other side of that, the promised land of Escort, and then we'll see what happens here. You think that Ayas might be able to take a map off of Chengdu? Our production staff behind the scenes, they say it's going to be a slam. Saying that if Ayas can carry over some of this momentum coming off of the win just now, they might be able to surprise Chengdu, but Chengdu are looking pretty damn scary.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance. I'm hopeful. I want to believe in Ayas. They've got a couple things going for them. They just played. They looked a lot better, frankly, than the day before. So maybe that means they've got something in their back pocket here for Chengdu that can scare them a little bit. And then also, the other thing is, most of Chengdu's players are actually NA, so that means there will be some kind of ping advantage, which could, in those clutch moments, make a difference. So there is a little bit going here for Ayas, but I mean, overall, Chengdu just seem almost unsurmountable.
I mean, Ilios is actually a really good testing ground for some of these different compositions that we've seen coming out through here. Now, this is my first time casting the EU portion of this. I caught a little bit of the lower bracket final earlier. So I don't know if there is dependent on Symmetra Bastion, as we've seen a lot of other places. I know that we will see snipers here on Ruins, and it's more brawly. So Sylvia, going to go up against Kindred. Kindred had one hell of a day yesterday.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing we've seen a good bit from Ayas, especially on Ilios, is this Roadhog that Sylvia is once again whipping out. It works quite well against Yippee, but a team as strong as Chengdu is not going to let this hog go unpunished. But it's Senna to draw first blood on this Widow, just kind of uncontested on the high ground. And that's a brutal start. Senna just ready to go, doesn't need any warm-up with lower finals. Already going for some kind of trick shots here to start out.
I mean, Guga is right there. That's GG's in the chat there. Just three beautiful headshots. And I mean, I like that Sabatabi is bringing out the Tracer here. Going to give a little bit more pressure to the backline of Chengdu. And I think that's something that they really do need to do, is get into the backline and start creating hassle so the Scarlet and Zepturn aren't bothered.
Yeah. Especially they need to be pressuring Senna, because if Senna's left alone, I mean, we already saw it. But Dominic also trying to show their colors, taking out Zepturn to start out. But, I mean, with the tank gone, you'd think there's not much of anything, but Dominic still trying to fight it. Chance in this, I mean, an overextension here from Peace getting a little too overzealous, and now the Junker Queen almost left alone on the point. The Lucio and the Kiriko are there to back them up, and oh no! Oh no! Dominic was not ready for Scarlet, and that's going to be Guardians holding on.
I mean, that's exactly what you need your Lucio player to do, though, is to be able to really contest and make life hell for that static sniper. Instead of, going on the back of it, takes out their counterpart. So this is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, space taking. I wanted to see clean sight lines being taken. And, they've been looking to find the Lucio player to really deny Sylvia any kind of agency to get quickly onto the point.
Oh, Senna going to be thanking his lucky stars that the Widow fall-off change happened, just barely staying alive because of it. And Savo does not know about the reposition. And that's going to be an advantage here that, I mean, Chengdu Guardians are not going to let go of. It's just Dominic here to deal with the Genji. Not going to be able to do anything. And, I mean, Noya's going to have to scramble over to the point to maybe even just get a chance in a final fight.
Nope.
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 Nope. That's done and dusted. They'll proc the overtime here. We'll see KP go down. Yeah, I mean, it was done. It was done and dusted. Peace was dirty yesterday. Peace is even dirtier today, and I think that seeing Senna, what really cooked on the Sojourn yesterday, I like this a lot better. I like just the immediate kill. I mean, they barely had to use an ultimate in these fights, and I mean, when they did use them, it was for a singular target. Like they didn't have to go in and like get a massive 2 or 3 person rampage. They didn't have to worry about the sound barrier catching all 5 people because they were under duress. They're just holding space and having a wonderful time at it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I think something that I'd like to mention real quick is the Guardians, Senna and Zepturn won the Kunoichi kickoff. So both of these players are playing for a repeat here. And I mean, they're looking excellent to start out, looking like they can do that. And funnily enough, they could even get a three-peat if they're able to do it in an NA as well.
I mean, this is going to be crazy, and I think that they have every opportunity of doing the double here, at least in the kerfuffle. So we'll see how it goes. Pete's going to bring out the Echo here. I like this. Is going to change the eye level, and Dominic's going to bring out the Sojourn. So Sojourn versus the Echo. I give Echo generally the advantage of that, and Scarlet got a little bit too big for their britches.
Yeah, I mean, this hog hasn't been working so far, but Sylvia finally able to make something of it, getting that first pick. Dominic is just sliding right in. Not going to be punished for it. Getting quite fortunate there to survive, and that's Ayas with another pick on the board, able to get the first cap.
I mean, they're just going to, be able to hold space here and now move forward. And, as long as you've got the support on your tank, you should be fine. The big problem is that Peace, I don't know how they went down, but Peace is at 80% to duplicate already.
Billy, I don't know how. But just scrapping it out here, Chengdu Guardians, for free, while Ayas were just not paying attention, find 3 picks, and just flip the point right back.
It's the hindrance from the magnetic grenade that held people in place. Weren't allowing them to use their mobility to get away. So, I mean, Peace is going to have duplicate in this fight. I mean, that's the closest thing right now. And Kindred has gone over to the Zarya, so definitely looking to be a little bit more up in Sylvia's face.
Yeah. And now any hook that Sylvia even can manage to find, just a bubble to meet it. So, going to be even harder to get any value on this Roadhog. Still looking for something, finds the hook, and no bubble available. I guess Zep turns down. That's the healing mostly removed, and Senna gets hunted down as well. And, I mean, just a nice fight there for Ayas, but I'm wondering where that bubble was, Billy.
I mean, the bubble, may have already gone up. The duplicate through it already blown out of it.
I don't know about that one.
No, I mean, that was a silly key press there. Now you're gonna have to build it to it again. I probably would have gone for either the Ash, try to get a Bob to contest on point, or gone for possibly the Lucio to get a sound barrier to try and give yourself a little double sound barrier. Actually going in with the Deadeye coming out.
Yeah, and I mean, Peace gonna have to be quite careful as well with the power of the hit scan on the other side, but Sylvia overstepping now. That's your tank removed, and with all this point pressure, that is going to be the flip. The beat invested to try and deal with the Grav, but it was too little too late, and now with Sabo with nothing to fight for as the point's gone back over. Just going to reset 50% now for the Guardians.
We'll see if there's going to be a hero swap here coming from Sabo. The Tracer's kind of sort of been working on the flanks and getting that annoyance factor going through. But the big problem is that Peace has started finding these supports, and that's really hindering what Ayas can do to try to get themselves back on this point. You've also got double support ultimates coming in here for Chengdu Guardians, so they've got all the toys to play with, and about 30% before they take this map of Ilios. Yeah,
I mean, Chengdu Guardians looking great. Ayas have been definitely doing a lot better on this point, but I mean, still really difficult to stop the roll. Although Senna left kind of alone here on the point. If someone can try and take her down, going quite low from the Bob, gonna have to be careful. Scarlet going a little too aggressive will go down. Peace found out by the Ashe on the other side. And flip back the other way. Although with this rush, I mean, Chengdu still trying to fight it, but now Kindred just kind of left on their lonesome, still finding picks. So Sylvia's going to have to invest that whole hog. But, I mean, that will be the fight win. And now 80% last fight territory.
I mean, exactly what they needed. Oh, there's a duplicate coming in. That's going to be an early whole hog if they can land enough shots.
Yeah, and I mean, Dominic already down. The Ashe is dead. Sylvia needs help. Will be able to get it, but I mean, now with no healing, under so much pressure. Oh, just barely able to stay alive. Peace looking for it. Finally able to get that pick off. Now they have to stay on the point. Chengdu do. And I mean, they're able to make it over. Dominic finding a pick. Sabo's off the map. What is going on? 92%. They have to even get on the point, though, and the grab in their face. Oh, yes. They're able to make it over just barely, but it's just Sylvia all alone. And I mean, Chengdu will find the cleanup, and that will be a 2-0 to start us out on Ilias.
But more signs of life from Yes. I have to throw it out there. They got signs of life there, but Chengdu Guardians coming up big in the end. The ult rotation just seemed to stay in their favor. Other than that clunky first duplicate that came out from Peace, the second duplicate was absolutely massive. And, you know, just the focus fire going down on Alyas's support line. They're always under duress, and that's something that they're going to have to really address. I think that, you know, if they're going to keep running with this Zarya going in and you've got the Genji there, I think that you bring out the Brigitte. The Brigitte and the Baptiste, because it gives you protection against grab, it gives you more spam healing. You're not running up against somebody that's, I mean, we've seen Kindred bring out the Junker Queen a couple times, but the Zarya is going to be something that Kindred is really going to be running through today. So I think that they need to have that backline presence where there's kind of a safety valve, if you were, in the support line, where you've got the bash to take away the flanker coming in, and the Genji, you know, being able to deal with grab as well, having that, even though it's a very flimsy shield, you have CC to kind of back them off a little bit and give your tank a little bit of time to be able to engage and get the DPS to come back and get the peel for your support line. So there are things that IS can do right now, but Chengdu, they're just a separate tier above right now, above most of the other teams that are playing in the entirety of the Kerfuffle. They've got an understanding and a synergy together that is really being shown on display here in this grand final.
Yeah, and I mean, if IS do continue to run this Roadhog, I mean, honestly, I think the Brig would be a good idea, but honestly, anything but the Lucio. I feel like so many options that just provide more utility, right? The Hog's not really trying to run in all too much because, I mean, he can be punished with his lack of defensive utility for himself. Yeah. So, I mean, I want to see a backliner that leans more into that pokey playstyle because I feel like, oh yes, they're going for this slightly strange composition, more pokey, but they're kind of then stopping halfway. And Chengdu can just deal with that relatively easily and just shut down the Roadhog, out-brawl him. And so I would like to see Ayas either try to move over to something more brawly or lean more into the poke instead of playing this kind of hybrid composition that's kind of just worse at both.
I mean, why not the Orisa? I mean, if you're
the Orisa would be a great idea too.
I mean, I don't understand what people's hate for my beloved donkey horse is. I make no bones about her being my main tank of choice. Always has been, always will be. She's in such a good place right now, even with the patch updates. She's still in a great place. We've seen it here in this competition at A side and in EU. Running the Orisa here is absolutely okay, and it provides you damage mitigation. That's one thing that did not have anything going for them whatsoever here in Ilias. So when we go to hybrid, it's going to be up to, I think, Sylvia being able to mitigate damage. The hooks are great, and I mean, they were following up. They had the combo wombos down, but where's the rest after that? Once you let loose with the combo, you're basically a sitting target. All you're going to have is the breather. We're going to go to Midtown for our next map type. And this is an interesting one. I mean, because you can run a Sigma here. You can run the Reinhardt here. You can run Junker Queen. You can run Zarya. We saw at the beginning of Overwatch 2, if everybody can cast their minds back to when the beta came out, Zarya was OP here in Midtown, and seeing how Kindred is able to manipulate Zarya's kit and the accuracy of those alt fires, this could be very dangerous for IS if they don't play it the right way.
Yeah. But I think this makes a lot of sense what we're seeing them on right now. What this signals to me is they do want to get back on this Ryan Sim Bastion that was working for them in those lower finals, right? On the attack, what they can do is they can kind of just take that rotation left, use the TP to outmaneuver and get through that brutal first Midtown choke under the train. And then, I mean, even on defense, as you said, I mean, you can keep running the Bastion, but you could even swap to the Sig or the Orisa if you need.
Well, I mean, you're going to have some frontline presence here, and that's something that they were really lacking. Even though we did see Sylvia get quite a few kills with the Roadhog, and the whole hog definitely got the displacement that they needed. They're going to have to be quick. I mean, that's just dirty. It's just dirty. This fight's already over. Yeah,
and I mean, Kindred is just in with these axes, and the axes give the shorter cooldown, so now yet another axe available out of range. I mean, Kindred's going to have to be careful. If that pin connected, that is your Junker Queen gone. So going to take a bit of a step back now, but I mean, this is a good start.
I mean, they've got him in a tiny enclosed space. They've got the Bastion. I was surprised they did not put him back. Yeah, they get burned out a little bit overzealous.
Yeah, I mean, just definitely too greedy. Just keeps going for those axes, which you do get so fast into this Rhine comp, but you got to remember, there's so much close range damage that you are just running right into. And IS will not just roll over and let you cut them down. So now, that's first point capped up. Pretty nice and easy for them.
I mean, Elixir does have...
no.
The Rampage invested.
Billy.
This is good.
I mean, you get the Bastion, sure, but I mean, the spawn's right there. They've capped up the point. I mean...
I expected more on the back of it. There's the pin. That's exactly what we were hoping for, but the trade.
The MTD in chat.
Okay, I see you. We'll see how they actually run through this. And they've actually gone over to something that I saw yesterday in a separate match against Fable. Vancouver Titans actually brought out the Life Weaver, able to life grip and pull vulnerable people out of overextensions. That's why you're bringing it out there early, Kitsune Rush.
Oh my god, Kindred's just already down again. I mean, the blade is still in from Peace, but I mean, there's just nothing to do with it. And I mean, their team's just already dead, and they can't do much on their own. Will just fall later. The support's still alive. Could get hunted down, maybe, but I think just barely going to make it out.
Going for more YOLO dives here.
Oh, wait.
I don't hate it.
Wait, Sylvia's stuck in the room to the tree. Able to barely make it out. Simwall invested just to make sure of that, but Sabo's down early. A lot of damage off the table. Traded it back for Peace, and now Kindred gets pinned. Could get traded, but there it is. There's the value of the life grip. Kindred just kind of gets 2 kills and is not even able to get punished for it. So excellently played there from Chengdu.
That's clean. That's clean. That's what you needed to do. You needed some kind of a breather from the oppression that Sylvia has been dominating in with. And also, talk about the teleports that are coming in from Dominic. Way better than what we saw a little bit earlier in the fight. So, I mean, we're at 338 here. There's at least 4 full fights, and a window comes out.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that was almost just an early kill onto Scarlet. I mean, it is converted. Still working out, even though she was able to survive. Rampage does come through from Kindred, but now stuck all alone in the backline. The beat to make sure there's no follow-up off of that ultimate. Although, Elixia and Sabo get caught out. Sylvia's still trying to move forward, but I mean, without that BAP healing, the Rhine is nothing.
No, but I mean, Sylvia might actually pop through here. Looks like they will get a teleporter up. No! Great pursuit for Peace.
Yeah. I mean, just excellent follow-up there. I mean, that looked like a great fight there from yes, but I think things got a little too scrappy, and they got picked apart a little bit there by the Chengdu Guardians.
Don't peek. Bob is ready to go. They missed the shot on the dynamite. It should explode in the back, but it doesn't get anything. Oh, my lord.
Oh, I mean, you just can't be doing that. You can't be doing that against this team. I mean, they will punish you every time if you just TP right into them. Like, it's just not going to work against the Guardians. They are absolutely always going to be ready for that.
The boop. the boop to reposition everybody through the charge, through the teleporter. Absolutely perfectly timed there from Scarlet. Went from 25% on their sound barrier ult charge, now up to 63% and or
It's hiding behind
65%.
them.
Yeah, this is all, and Blade's ready to go.
Although that is the Kiriko down already. If they can live the blade, and as I say that, they absolutely will not live the blade. Peace makes absolute sure of that. And that's Chengdu again, just winning out clean fights. Ayas just have not been able to make anything work for quite some time.
I mean, Scarlet goes from 68% to sound barrier in that singular fight. So that is the value that Scarlet is providing here. Kindred's going to have another rampage. It was just the last fight that they had the rampage in. This is great ult generation, but losing your burst healing and the Suzu out there from Alexia getting it done.
Yeah, but I mean, now the rampage, no beat on the other side to meet it. And it doesn't matter if you don't have any heals, if the other team is all dead and gone. So Chengdu have now whittled this down. 1 minute left, but that was all of the ults they had left in the bank.
I mean, depending on how Senna generates here to Bob, you'll probably get it with about 30 seconds, maybe 20. And you're going into this window. The window should be the kicker here for them if they can get Dominic and Sabatabi in the right position.
Oh, but the BAP's already gone. Kindred just not giving any space up. Peace traded for it. And, I mean, a little overextension here from the Guardians means this could be a good chance for them. But, I mean, still, without that healing, the Reinhardt and the Bastion have to be so careful. This is still winnable. And, I mean, now it's just Sylvia all alone on the point, just relying on the cart healing. We'll be able to go over to the Mega. So, if, honestly, they can just hide, and, yeah, now they've got the Baptiste back. So, Ayas have a chance here. Gonna pop the window to try and secure this. Shatter onto Kindred. No Suzu available to get them back up and running. So now Ayas can flood on forward. Nice shots there from Alexia. And this should be them getting cap on second point, although there is definitely a chance for a recontest.
I mean, if we can get Bob out here, it'll provide that stabilization, and it gets it at the last second point, 2, 3, 4 meters.
Off, though, so they have to stay on now. The beat, all of the members of Ayas so healthy, and I mean Kindred just has to fight into it onto the point. We'll just get burned down. Just cannot cut through all of that over health, and that's Ayas finally getting through second.
But it cost them 3 ultimates into that fight. So,
yeah.
I mean, the economy has shifted once again. Kitsune Rush ready to go. 115 on the clock. Blade almost online. So even though you do get the Bob out there, Bob does his job for a while. It pulls out a lot of cooldowns. Now you have the ultimate rotation in your favor. Now you can take a really forward position. Peace needs to deal with Dominic, though. That's something that hasn't really been done a lot by Peace. Peace has been paying him more attention in the back line.
Yeah, we'll go up and at least halt Dominic for a moment as the rush comes in from the low ground. But Kindred, the one to fall. Peace now trying to go in with the blade, but a nice rail will mean that Peace is just low enough for Sylvia to hit that fire strike and shut them down. And now Ayas, I mean, it looked like they were the ones under a lot of pressure, but they were able to come out on top. Although Senna is still alive and just free firing on their back line, able to find 2, and that's going to signal the retreat. 24 seconds remaining.
I mean, you've got 3 ultimates coming in this fight for Ayas, and I mean, the Shatter could be the kicker, depending on where Kindred places when they press Q. Are they going to be in the path of it? Are they going to get charged out of their rampage as well? There are many weapons here for Ayas to give them with them.
Oh, everyone's dead from Ayas before they can do anything about it.
Never mind.
They're just the second that they walk up, they just meet a Genji dashing through all of them, as well as Kindred's just ravaging rampage and just wiped off the board before anything can happen. And that's all Ayas is going to be able to get.
I mean, Fifi, that is pure filth in a double ultimate that came out there. Kindred played that perfectly, completely caught Ayas with their pants down, and they did not have the critical information they needed right there. So we'll see what the Guardians do here as far as their attack phase. Now, Ayas, once again, they're showing signs of life. They're showing some really good team coordination here. And I like what they're bringing. They're not afraid to change out some characters as well. Dominic going over to that Sojourn really provided a second layer of DPS that really gave the backline of Chengdu a lot to consider. We saw Zepturn getting picked a couple times from the charge rail shots, or Peace being pressured down, and and Alexia has been kind of a bloodthirsty support here. My favorite kind. We saw some really precise shots coming through the window, really nice window placement as well, really taking space away from Chengdu. So for Chengdu here, I mean, you complete the map, you take yourself to a 2-0 lead, you're halfway to the championship. But for IS, if they can hold here, if they can get this rotation set up and they can catch the aggression coming in from Chengdu, then they have a chance to really bleed a lot of time off this clock.
My concern is they're back to the Sim Bastion. And, I mean, it's a good composition, but, I mean, on this first point, you really want to be able to exploit this choke. Although, Kindred, can you get over that? Okay, no. That was a nice attempt, but, I mean, you really want to be able to, like, just kill anyone who dares to come through this choke point. So, they're going for it again. Okay, come on, guys, come on. Focus up. It's Kindred running on through. I mean, Dominic going to have to be quite careful of that Junker Queen, and now Kindred able to run on forward. Peace as well, just kind of going on in, gets gripped right back out the second they were in danger, and that's the Bastion already off the table, which means just no real damage to burn down this Junker Queen comp, although Kindred goes a little too far Zepturn as well. But I mean, Sylvia is just so low, not going to be able to make anything of it. And that's Chengdu Guardians pretty convincingly taking first point.
I mean, but they're going so predictable with their teleporter placements. I mean, why not go inside the firehouse to the second floor, put your Bastion up there in the window, and have them have an escape route with that teleporter down into a safer position?
Oh, I don't know about this touch. This feels like the Chengdu Guardians, what they did earlier. I feel like this just gives up positioning on second point. They're able to get one pick, but I mean, that should just be it. They have to teleport away for a moment, but I mean, they have to stay on the point eventually. So, I mean, yeah, that just gives ult charge over to the Guardians and space.
Well, I mean, we're gonna bring out the Hanzo here, so a little bit of vision, a little bit of one-shot potential as well. Just not feeling it with the Bastion anymore. Yeah. So I mean, Dominic will stay on this Symmetra until they get the photon barrier up. They'll have that damage mitigation coming through, and then we'll see what Dominic does. Does Dominic go back over to the Sojourn?
Oh, and Kindred once again just running on in. The lamp's already used.
Damn!
Alexia can't do anything about it, and Kindred just gets 4 right like that.
Oh, there's your play of the game. TikTok clip from Sylvia. But they did invest the Bob as well, so they don't have that secondary ult coming in. It kind of robs them of an ace there. They're just waiting for it. They're just waiting for it.
Oh my goodness, and the support's already so low. The Blade going in. The beat, though, is perfectly timed, and now Peace is the one out of position. Oh, yes, able to clap back here and get themselves back into a nice pin there from Sylvia. And they desperately needed this. They needed to be able to stabilize here on second point.
Well, I mean, they've done that very nicely. Now we are about 3/4 of the way through, and now you're coming up on the Kitsune Rush. Kitsune Rush is going to be good. The Tree of Life is going to be able to hold you up until it gets burned down. So Dominic staying with the Symmetra will be able to get that microwave beam up to 3 and really burn it through.
Oh, that's just a nice window fire strike. A good old classic there to just clean up the fight. But only the tree invested there from Guardians, and it's a nice fast fight, so you're not too worried about that.
I mean, Peace, are you going to get outlet? Yeah, I guess they are. But you lose Scarlet. So Scarlet didn't have it, and well, we'll see how they deal with this coming in. Bob is about 25% away here for Senna, but you've got the Dragon Strike, and because we do have the payload going here, it's going to really take some time away. We're down at 245, with the Dragon Strike. That buys you about 10 seconds to get everybody back together. Early Kitsune Rush out.
Yeah, but if IS can win out this fight, they're in a really good position, although that Sabotabi already gone. Dragon off the table. Sylvia gets yoinked back in 1 HP and will get punished. So now the rest of the team of Ayas has to go back to their spawn, try and get out so they can get a retouch. But, I mean, with Dominic going down so late, I don't think they'll even have that.
I mean, Sabatami does get a headshot. We've got dragons coming
that's
onto the
dragon.
point. The Bob is out though.
Yeah, Noya already down. The Shatter comes on through and is able to find the Kiriko off the back, but I mean, the overwhelming presence from Kindred, even popping the Rampage just to make sure that they're able to get this through. And that's second point, 3.5 minutes to get to that golden box of victory.
I mean, you're gonna have sound barrier possibly into this fight, maybe this photon barrier as well, but they've got a blade that they're gonna have to deal with here very shortly.
Yeah. No ultimates available just yet for either team, but building up to a few ones. But Peace will get to that blade before the beat, and Dominic is already down. Now Aoyas on the back foot. They have to make something happen, but they're just getting cleaned on up. Chengdu Guardians, all that's left for them is to roll the cart on in. Dominic will maybe have the chance to get a touch, but Zepturn's just going to hit some nice kunai right there. Says, stay in your spawn next time. And that's Chengdu Guardians taking it to 2 maps.
Well, I mean, that is the 2 map lead here for the members of the Guardians. Oh, yes. I mean, they put up a valiant fight, but just a little bit overwhelming there coming for them. So we'll see what's going to happen here coming up. We're going to throw it to a quick little break. We're going to give the teams a chance to get a little bit of water, get a little bit of extra energy in them, talk about how they're going to deal with Flashpoint, and we'll see what's going to happen. So we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our grand finals.
Or not.
Or not. I guess we're going to stay. So I guess we'll stay here. I thought we were going to break, but apparently we are not. So we're going to wait and see.
We can keep this going. We can keep this going.
We can keep it going. We can keep it going. We can do this. We're just fine. We're just fine. Everything's fine. No, we'll keep going and we'll just find out where we're going to go as far as what our next map type is going to be. We're not sure. The rules are kind of sketchy on this one. If we're going to escort, if we're going to Flashpoint like we have been for the rest of the tournament. So we're getting a head rammer on the case here to see what he can bring out here for us. So Flashpoint is going to be our next map type. And well, now we can throw it to a break. So we are going to throw it to a quick little break while we get that map type in. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right, and welcome back to the grand finals of the EU Kunoichi Kerfuffle. Chengdu Guardians just took Midtown to take themselves up 2-0 against Aoyas, and now going to the third map of Suravasa, things aren't looking great for the team of Aoyas.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this actually goes, because they do have more, at least right now, the in-game practice of the Symmetra Bastion strat. So Bastion and Symmetra here work well as long as you get them positioned the right way. As long as your lines of sight, you have a little bit of cover that you can duck out of, that you can reposition to. You don't need to be standing out in the broad daylight. When you go in with these, when you go into the turret form for Bastion, I think that they've just been a little bit brazen when they go into it. Also, Scarlet has made the entirety of Aoyas's life hell right now because of these repositionings from the boops that have been coming from Scarlet. So Scarlet doing the Lord's work here in the year of our Lord 2023. But I mean, there's one elephant in the room that we have not discussed a lot of, and I mean, I've been watching this gamer for a while now, both in collegiate and contenders, and now here.
Yeah.
Kindred is absolutely owning everybody. I mean, those rampages were disgusting. The axe resets when you land Gracie, everything clicking with this Junker Queen composition coming in. I don't see any reason why you need to change it, because I mean, they completely took the 1v1 up against a Reinhardt with pocketed healers and is winning it left and right. The bleed effect from that axe is so underrated going into these compositions that, I mean, Kindred is playing out of their freaking mind, and I am just proud of this gamer more than you could possibly know.
Yeah, I feel like no one I've seen has ever made the name of Junker Queen's ultimate be so real. They are really just rampaging. But now coming to Suravasa, they're actually switching it up, moving over to the Ramatra.
I mean, is this fun? I mean, are they giving us a little bit of debating? If they go out with this, I can see what they're going to try to do.
They're out.
I mean, they are anticipating a Doomfist composition. So now you're going to be looking to get antis, get sleeps, take the mobility away. You've got Dominic in on the Symmetra, and you've got the cleanse from Alexia here on the Kiriko. So you actually have a pretty damn good composition here to go up against what Chengdu's trying to bring. Yeah.
This Doomfist could, if they can just find out Scarlet on the Ana here, Sleep Dart already expended. She's going quite low. Does have the Iliari at her side to try and make things go all right. But, I mean, while the Ana is getting pressured, the Ramatra just doesn't have the healing. Now the Reaper, no Wraith available. But, I mean, it's one out. Noya gets caught out by a nice Icicle. And, I mean, Sabo dealt with the backline, able to be unleashed. That's a nice start for Chengdu.
I mean, they've got the capture percentage ticking up already. I mean, look at the ult charges here. I mean, Scarlet and Zep turn completely equal. So, I mean, they're getting the work done. The big problem for them right now is the lack of mobility. But they have so much self-sustain and you know, the ability to get away from some of the damage coming in with the Wraith, with the movement ability of Yadi there. Wow.
Senna just one-shot Sabo. We'll go down for it. Oh, a little bit of tactical crouch there from Sylvia. But, I mean, this fight is all from one. Here is Sylvia, 1 HP, barely able to stay alive. The ante is good, and the follow-up is as well as Alexia goes down. So I'm thinking that tactical crouch came out a little bit too early there from Sylvia. And, I mean, this should just be the first point. I mean, they'll be able to get a scrappy touch, but I mean, it should be nothing more than that. Sabo already having to use the recall. Sylvia now on their own on the point. Anteed up, will invest the Meteor Strike, but the sleep is there. Senna on the Junkrat now nanoed. And yeah, I mean, that's just an 100-0. And I want to go back to the last time these two teams played. The third map was Suravasa. It was a 3-0. And I mean, with that start, it's looking like it could just be a repeat.
I mean, you got EMP Pulse Bomb here, so that'll take some of the some of the sting away. But I mean, if they can land it in unison, they don't have an ultimate to really defend against that. So they're gonna have to be very cognizant of where the rotation's coming in from Aoyas.
Yeah, but I mean, it's if they can land that. I feel like Aoyas, they have a composition meant to just destroy the backline, and they haven't really been able to find out Scarlet. They get the EMP though. It is good. That is the Ana down, but I mean, the Iliari still has lots of healing, and Chengdu still invest into the fight, and they still win out the brawl that ensues afterwards. They don't even need their Ana.
I mean, the pylon that was placed there by Zepturn was absolutely magnificent. Now they're going to have Captive Sun coming into the next fight. Yeah, Zepturn says I forgot to move. Well, we saw that. You got zapped.
Oh, and that stagger is just brutal.
God, Pieces doing the Lord's work right now. I mean, first on the Genji, now on the Mei, having a fabulous time, and really just having a beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, now without your EMP on the Billy, Kindred's off the map. Okay, there's a chance here, but Sylvia's just exploded, just deleted from existence. So now Tank's off the board. Senna coming back with the Riptire, though this could be huge. Going over the wall. Are they ready for it? Alexia is certainly not. And now, I mean, again, Chengdu Guardians are just looking untouchable. And I think, really need to swap it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not working. I mean, at least they were trying to adapt, which for me, as a caster, I love it when teams are willing to put something new out there. And so for them to, they lose, but they still have at least one more point to try and fix it up. Now, this is where I'd be going into counter up against the Ramatra and against the Mei. Going aerial. They don't have a hit scan per se. I mean, Zepturn is kind of doing it.
Scarlet is found out, though. Way too far from the team. Zepturn as well. That's going to be the support's gone. Sylvia again with the spray. So, I mean, they should be able to win out this first fight. But, I mean, the key word is should. Scarlet could come back in time with this rush. They could still win this fight.
I mean, they're going into Annihilation as well as the Kitsune Rush. So, I mean, there's options here. You can wall off Sylvia to be able to provide, a little extra on the end of that. So, I mean, Sabby Tabby, though, takes Peace out of the fight.
Yeah, and Kindred so low. If they can just find this Ramatra out, but, I mean, just able to stay alive and is doing damage in the back line. Noya is gone. Sylvia will follow. Wow. And the rest of the pieces for Ayas just crumble behind them. I think they really have to switch this up, Billy. I mean, I like the attempt, but, I mean, they're just bashing their head into a wall.
Kindred decided that we were just done with Ramatra, and they're actually going to go over to the Roadhog. Oh, no. Gosh!
Oh no!
We're starting to flex our muscles here on this Ayas team. The strike comes in. They've got the beautiful work going in the back. I mean, forces so much out of two players there. Scarlet does end up going down, my friend, but Blizzard should win them the fight.
Yeah, I mean, all of these members should get frozen up. I mean, Scarlet or Alexia able to make it out, but I mean, not for long. But I mean, Kindred off to the side, all alone, has to use the heal, hacked up, will be able to find this combo out. How is Kindred still alive? And the point is still ticking up all the while, is able to still be alive. Sylvia has to just get out with the Meteor Strike, 82%. They have to touch. This is the final point.
And they're coming up on a Riptire as well, and that's just bad juju because they once again don't have anything to deal with it.
Sabo's already gone. They have the EMP. They have to make something of it. Peace goes down. And I mean, the trap on the point. That's just brutal. But if they can find out Senna, there's still a chance. But Sylvia, so low, barely surviving for the meantime. And it's just Dominic on the point to try and make something happen. The Riptire, the whole hog, the whole kitchen sink here available on this point for Chengdu Guardians. The beat will be able to keep them alive. Actually, though, the hack and the pulse bomb is good. Kindred goes down. Noya able to find out the Kiriko as well. I don't know how, but Ayas have managed to put this in a winnable position, and they will get their first cap.
Well, piece over to a Sombra of their own. Kindred's going to give them the Doomfist option. So
Sylvia's on hog.
Here. Yeah, Sylvia's on hog. So we'll see how this actually rolls out. Kindred actually going back to the Hog, so maybe somebody noticed that was the switch to win too. We are going to get the Hog 1v1. I haven't been able to say that for at least 2 years. This is kind of exciting for me because I think the Hog is just not in a good place right now. You love the Hog v Hog destruction going on.
But does it even matter when your Tracer's just down first? I mean, Sylvia gets hooked in, has to deal with all this pressure from the rush. Elixia tries to save them, but just pays with their own life. And now Sylvia will finally go down, and that should just be the final death knell here on Suravasa. The cap comes back through, and I mean, one member close here. Sabotabi able to get the touch as she did go down really early in that fight, but I mean, it's just a little bit of stall of the inevitable here on this Flashpoint map here for Ayas, as Chengdu Guardians take it convincingly and take us to match point.
Championship point even. So we'll see what the choice is coming out here for the escort map for Ayas. I mean, that was an interesting map of Flashpoint. Love to see the trades coming through, the swaps, the adaptation. Definitely a lot more engaging for me, at least. I'm glad they're giving me some extra looks here to go into this. But for yes, I mean, it's just a different level of competition that they're going up against right now. Kindred takes so much space, takes so much attention, and then you look at the DPS, Senna getting the work done, Peace getting the work done, and then you've got Zepturn playing 3 different healers here in Flashpoint, and just absolutely flawless and bloodthirsty still, not getting enough of the Alias blood in their veins today. So as we head to escort, this is going to be where either Alias pulls it together or we're looking at a 4-0.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you even do for Alias? I mean, it just feels so impossible to slow this roll from the Guardians. I mean, it just feels like it's inevitable at this point that they will win this series. They are looking so good, but I mean, yes, this is possibly their last chance here in the Kunoichi Kerfuffle. They have the escort map pick. I mean, what do you even go to try and deal with this unstoppable force?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like an optimal map for them. Dorado's got to be out because Junker Queen or Zarya. I mean, you can use bubbles to allow and enable your flankers to take high ground and get your charge up. Yeah. I mean, if you're on the defense, you can just sit up there and right click. Next round is actually going to be push. I'm sorry. Our producer just let us know. So, oh man, I mean,
I think that's probably worse, honestly.
I think it's probably worse. I think that Coliseo, no, not with the long drag strip there. Where the
thing is, like, I don't even know what composition Ayas should be going, right? Like, their comfort pick throughout this tournament has been that Roadhog, and it's just been dealt with. It's just been shut down, and I feel like before you think of what map to go, you have to think, I mean, what composition is it that Ayas can be comfortable enough on to throw the Guardians off? And I'm drawing a blank, Billy.
Well, I was going to say they absolutely cannot go to Esperanza. Well, they're not. We're going to Coliseo, and that means that Sylvia is probably going to come out on the Reinhardt. Reinhardt works incredibly well here in Italy, but Junker Queen also works very well. And as I was trying to get to, when you have the long drag strip there, that's where you meet your initial battle. Mm-hmm. If you get a rampage up there, there's not a lot of places for you to hide. Yes, there's some nooks and crannies, but a well-angled rampage will pick up at least 2, especially if you're contesting the cart. That's something they got to be very cognizant of.
Yeah. So Coliseo, potentially the final stand for Ayas here in the grand finals, and Chengdu Guardians potentially moments away from getting this win here in EU. And as I said earlier, this is also potentially a repeat victory for Senna and for Zepturn, as Billy, I'm looking at the rosters here, and something's a little off.
Oh, we're off rolling now. We do a little trolling here in the grand final.
I feel like this might be a little arrogant.
It could be. Or they're just that damn good, and well, it's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, these players certainly quite strong on other roles as well, but
Nope.
to start out, they just get run over. Billy, can you imagine? Can you just imagine for me for a moment that Ayas take this map because Chengdu Guardians dared to off-roll in the grand finals, and then they get the reverse sweep? I mean, that would just be incredible, but I mean, it does have to start out by shutting down these players on slightly worse roles for them.
I mean, we'll see. Slay from Kindred. Big Anti does come in, and the Birds going through. They have to actually put out the Immortality Barrier. So, I mean, aim is aim. Let's remember that. Aim
Yeah.
is aim. And, I mean, game sense is game sense. So maybe they'll be able to build something out of this.
Okay, so, I mean, Ayas trying to go for this nice flank rotation, but, I mean, they kind of get caught out in the meanwhile, and the whole time, the cart's been pushing the other way. And, I mean, these last few stragglers are also going to get staggered out, although they're still fighting back. Sylvia quite low, probably not going to be able to survive, although with the speed, with the pin, might be able to make it. Kindred's still trying to hunt for this, but could pay for it, as now the Baptiste is back. The deflect not available, 1 HP will go down for it, and I don't know how Ayas have recovered that.
I mean, it was a little bit of overpursuit. You did have Noya speeding Sylvia out, so I mean that's how they get out of that. Maybe a little bit of luck there as well, but still, I mean you got ultimates coming up on both sides. Shatter's going to be the big one, and the rotation up top is huge.
Yeah, everyone hit by a dynamite though. Zepturn looking quite good on the Ashe. Kindred though getting run over, and you know Zepturn was pumping in a lot of damage, but can't do that anymore as they are dead. But Sylvia gonna have to be a little bit careful. Going down here does mean that will make it a lot harder to keep the push bot going.
Well, I mean you got both tanks are out of the equation right now, but Zepturn's coming back with a Bob.
Yeah, as now another fight is Kindred in with the Nanoblade, able to find two. The Sabotavi was kind of just stuck with the artillery there. Couldn't move for a while, and Kindred was just able to cut her up in the meantime. And I mean, I think the lack of the Reinhardt there really made the difference.
Well, I mean, you've got Bob, you've got the Sound Barrier as well, and Rampage. So, I mean, you've got all the tools necessary. Just basically wait for the Immortality Barrier to come out, and then you're going to have a chance to really push in.
Yep. Is now Sylvia trying to walk on up, has to be careful of the Bob. 2 ultimates to respond. Chengdu might be able to just kite this out, but nice fire strike is the question marks in chat there. And I mean, that's just going to allow Ayas to just push on up. But again, a member going down late will make it a lot harder to keep this rolling.
They should, question mark, be able to get the point of gain here at the butt scratch. I mean, you've got the speed coming in. Scarlet could have something to say about this. With this incoming Rampage, just needs to be big.
Yeah, and I mean, they're all corralled in this corner. It is big indeed, but the beat and the lamp just keep them alive, at least for the moment. The Bastion's so low, Sabotabi not able to survive. Just the onslaught there from Chengdu Guardians. And I mean, that Rampage was just beautiful there from Scarlet. And that's going to allow the Guardians to try and get some push going back the other way.
Missed by a pixel with Gracie there.
Yeah.
Now this is just back and forth action going on. Shatter's not even close. I mean, 72%. I guess it's close-ish, but I mean, the Nano is going to be the big one coming out here. Who do you throw it on? Kindred, about 25% away from that next blade.
Yeah, Scarlet, though, a little too close, a little too aggressive, not respecting the damage from this Reinhardt composition. Will pay for it dearly, and that's going to be a nice, clean fight for Ayas, not even having to invest a single ultimate.
I mean, that's good for them. We got Peace gets out for just a second until they weren't. So this is even more of a lead. It was only 4 meters. Now we're going to keep growing that up.
Oh, the Orisa, that's interesting, but oh, I mean, this is just the brutal part of Coliseo. You can try to just force the cart under, but I mean, the Orisa's just stalling from the high ground and is the invincible battle cattle, and I mean, just stalling time for Kindred to go in with this Nanoblade, just chunking in so much damage. Everyone's so low. And that's going to be Kindred just wiping Ayas out.
Okay, so I mean, it was two ultimates into the fight. They also somehow dodged the artillery strike that came through as well. So I mean, now you're looking good here for Chengdu Guardians. I mean, I think that they're feeling a little bit better in their skin. They are at a 9-meter disadvantage, but Peace is coming up close on another sound barrier.
Yeah. Although they will have to cede a lot of space here as a couple members went down and weren't there in time as, oh my god, Scarlet just got exploded, just absolutely melted. The window plopped down and the Orisa disappeared. And I mean, with the tank gone, I mean, the rest of the pieces will fall. Zepturn staggered a little bit there in the corner. And I mean, now that this tank isn't here, they should be able to get the bot finally past the bridge.
Well, I mean, Shatter to start the fight. And we'll see what they get on the back of it. It's now at a 20-meter difference, and we're under the 4-minute mark. So you're stalling for now, but I don't know how much longer you can stay.
Yeah, although they do use the beat to try and run on in. Sabo Tabby just under so much pressure will not be able to live to tell the tale. Sylvia tried to go for the Shatter, but I mean, just going to be negated by the evil Orisa abilities as just a bit of a Terra Surge to make sure that fight's secured.
The sleep was brutal coming in on the poor Sylvia. Senna holds on to their nano as well. So the ultimate economy, pretty good. Scarlet going to bring out the Zarya now. This is a great counter going into it. I mean, Reinhardt can just swing, so once the bubbles are gone, you're still going to be under a lot of pressure. I want to see where they go with this, though. Do you throw it on to Kindred and see him chunk down Sylvia?
Yeah. Should be interesting, Billy, especially as we get later into this map. I mean, maybe no one ever ends up getting those checkpoints, but I mean, Chengdu gonna try as Kindred running on in as the Reaper now. Sabo goes down early for it, and I mean, they're trying to hunt down this Ana. But I mean, Senna just lives for so long. I mean, even if he goes down at any point there, right? I mean, just has bought enough time, and now Chengdu, they win a clean fight. No members go down. They'll finally be able to start getting some push.
Wow. I mean, how does Senna stay alive, to be quite honest? There's a death Kindred!
Oh my god, just goes before Ayas could ever expect it. Gets 2. I mean, will be traded out, so I mean, there's still a chance here for Ayas, but I mean, they're about to get the lead. Sylvia giving them a taste of their own medicine, though, just standing on top, but now antied up. Going to have to be so careful, but now with the beat health and the window, just going to melt Scarlet once more, and they're going to stop the lead, and they're going to get the bot back in their favor.
I mean, look, it's what, a third of a meter is the difference between these two teams. You're going to have Bob coming into this fight. You're going to have a sound barrier coming up as well. The big thing for Dominic right now is holding on to this photon barrier until everything comes out. They're holding it for Bob, basically.
I mean, the barrier comes out, but I mean, it's not placed the best. I mean, they can just run on past this if they want. Noya already down. Will be traded for the Reaper, but I mean, the Reinhardt compositions really need that speed to be able to function, as now the Baptiste is entirely preoccupied by Peace. Will go down, though. So Ayas actually in a decent position. They've managed to recover this fight, to bring it back, but they don't have enough of an advantage to just roll on over the team of Chengdu. So now Dominic going into the backline, prodding, looking, finds the Ana out, and that pick is beautiful. Going to signal the advance of Ayas is going to get the cleanup as well, and finally, after 10 minutes, Ayas is able to get the checkpoint.
Oh boy, I mean, they're going to be running into Shatter and Artillery Strike once again, and the window. So, I mean, this should be Ayas getting themselves a map here after the off-rolling antics of Chengdu comes back to bite them in the rear end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there it is. Window Fire Strike immediately finding out Senna. The Nano Bastion of Zepturn not able to find much of anything. Now 1 HP on the low ground. Sabotabi goes down, but with that pin of Sylvia, I mean, there's no one left to follow up on this grab, and that's all she wrote for Coliseo. And I mean, yeah, Chengdu Guardians punished for their hubris, for their arrogance, and oh yes, take their first map.
Well, I mean, it is now 3-1 here in our grand final. Chengdu they got what they deserved there. And I call people out when they decide to be hubris. They got what they deserved. So I mean, hopefully they'll be a little bit more serious coming into this next map. We are going to take a quick little break while we are getting ready to get that set up. But I mean, for Chengdu, I mean, I think that they may have learned their lesson here. So we'll see what happens. When we come back, we will have map number 5, potentially the end once again. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Okay, and we are once more back in it. Chengdu Guardians versus Aoyas now 3-1 after interesting, let's say, map that gets Aoyas on the board. I said earlier I believed in Aoyas to take a map. I don't think that's how I was envisioning it in my mind exactly. But I feel like there are now a few concerns for both of these teams, right? For Chengdu, I feel like it's not that major, but they have gone back to their original roster. But if we keep seeing in their play these decisions that are just trolling because they think they have this, right? They absolutely could accidentally let Aoyas back into this and give them all the momentum they need to carry this on through. On the side of Aoyas, I'm kind of worried because, I mean, first of all, the last, let's say, serious map we saw Surabasa was a little bit of a roll for the Guardians, and, I mean, on Colosseo, I'd love to say that Aoyas just kind of ran over Chengdu for their silly roll swaps, but, I mean, even with the players on non-optimal rolls, it was still a fairly close map. I mean, for a moment there, it was within a third of a meter. So, I mean, definitely still a lot to worry about if you're Aoyas, but maybe there is a chance back into this.
Anything can happen in our beautiful game. Shout out to Summertime OW in the chat. Yes, I would love to share a kebab. I prefer lamb. With a very nice spicy garlic sauce, please, and a full order of chips. So that is my go-to kebab order. And I'm thinking about lunch right now because it's 12:40 and it's Sunday, and I'm a chef and I'm hungry. And so we'll see. We'll see if Chengdu go back to their normal roles. Honestly, I don't have much. I don't hold out much hope for Aoyas. I think that they put up a valiant fight. I think them getting a map will be balm to the soul, as it were, but I don't think that they have the firepower, honestly, to shove back in. Now, stranger things have happened, right? And
Absolutely.
The fact that they win a map, that kind of resets the mental a little bit.
does.
So we'll see if this actually is a positive game for them, because it is what it is. And Overwatch, anything can happen in Overwatch. We are going to Havana, by the way. If we did not mention that already, that is going to be our escort map coming up next. Here in the grand finals, and we'll see. We did see some sniper play earlier on Ruins and Ilios, so if we have that going on, Dominic did have a pretty good bead there in Ruins. Senna popped off, but there were some moments there where Dominic was actually really landing it. The Sojourn has been pretty good too. I'd like to see the double sniper setup come out from, I guess, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what we're going to get out of Chengdu, because we did see Senna bring out the Ashe a little bit, and then we had Peace playing the Genji. I'd like to see maybe a Hanzo come out, kind of answer that double sniper look coming out. I'm wondering if we're going to see Sigma rear the head here. The problem is, if you do see the Sigma come out, it was once again mobility of a tank. But there's so much more in the kit that Aoyas would have to really deal with. So, I mean, this is a chance. If you want to off-roll a little bit, maybe off-roll on different heroes in your role.
Yep.
But I mean, there's so many ways that they could go through this. Aoyas maybe thinking that they're bringing out the Reinhardt again. I mean, Reinhardt can play well here. Shatters have been pretty good out of Sylvia all day long. Mm-hmm. So we shall see what we shall see.
Yeah, I feel like for Aoyas, I wholeheartedly expect to see them starting out on defense on the Reinhardt, trying to spawn hold, right? Because I feel like it's kind of interesting to be picking Havana as Chengdu. I mean, this does definitely play into a lot of strengths. I mean, Senna back on the Widowmaker, Peace can play the Genji, right? We can see the Bap Zen, either configuration of that. I mean, those players are incredibly strong on both of them. So if they can get onto that poke composition, I mean, they will be just incredible. But again, maybe there's a sliver here for Aoyas if they can make this Reinhardt work, keep Chengdu in spawn, keep them off of those comfort picks. But it will be Chengdu on defense first, so they're going to get to choose the tempo and start out on the Junker Queen.
Well, I like it. I like it. We shall see how this is actually going to transpire here. So for all yes, what I expected from Sylvia is going to come to play here. I think they have a good time with it. And well, I mean, you can pin. We saw quite a few pin kills from Sylvia. So I mean, I like their Reinhardt, to be quite honest. We'll see how this actually rolls out.
The Mercy Sombra. I'm quite confused by this. I guess they just want to pocket the Bastion to really explode Kindred, but able to survive the initial damage. And now you don't have the Lucio to speed your Reinhardt around. And I guess the point of the Sombra is just to hunt Senna down. I mean, at this point they should be aware of it. So if Senna can just survive that, now you just don't have a player for the brawl for Ayas. They have been able to carve out a little alcove for themselves here on the right side. But, I mean, when Sylvia was pinning back, couldn't shield up, and that's Sabo Tabby going down, and Ayas have barely been able to make it out of spawn.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what they wanted. I mean, they're going to be looking for these individual battles here right outside the spawn and work towards getting these ultimates up. The rotation's there. The nice shield, though, from Sylvia does deny Gracie for just a second.
Yeah, I mean, Peace has zero fear just running in with the deflect in Sabo's face. But, I mean, now Kindred caught a little bit out, will be Suzu'd up and is able to survive for just long enough for Peace to find out the Bastion on the other side. But at least, Dominic has found out the Widowmaker. That is an opening here for Ayas.
And Senna's going to come back on the Tracer, actually. So this is actually, oh my god.
Wait, Kindred's still going for it. That is a massive rampage there. Lots of members hit, but the lamp is just beautiful, and the window means that there is no surviving if you're Kindred. And that's Ayas finally making it out of their own spawn. But, I mean, 2 minutes burned on a hold like that is just excellent.
They called it a liar blade. They're having fun right now. Everybody having fun. Shatter and the artillery strike ready to go. I think that you can follow it up with an EMP. Have a lot of fun going into this, but Zepturn's going to have something to say with it with the Kitsune Rush coming out.
Yeah, and Dominic not quite to it just yet. 99 just able to get it, but quite low. Not able to pop it just yet, but the Shatter is just excellent. Zepturn not able to get anyone out of that, and because of that, everyone will go down for Chengdu. Sabo will fall, but I mean, that's more of just a consolation prize, really. I mean, she'll be back up and running in time for the next fight.
Well, I mean, the summer pick right now is working quite well. So, I mean, they're getting the full value. The manual hacks are taking care of the issues moving around. That was a very fast one fight gain of the pulse bomb, by the way. So there is stuff to do here.
Dominic! Dominic's just sitting out in the open, goes down, not setting up for the EMP at all, and now just a beat to stabilize, but no one's there for them to punish, and now with the counter beat second, I mean, Chengdu Guardian is just able to overwhelm Ayas, but I mean, at least Kindred's gone down, but with how far back the point is, that won't really make a difference.
Kindred's having fun. They're saying it's a ping diff. I don't care. Oh my god. The LH Cloudy Shade has been released into the match chat. That is evil. Why you gotta do my Finnish tank man like that? But I can understand it. We'll see how this actually goes. EMP still ready to go. Shatter is very close.
EMP catches on to a couple, but no follow-up just yet. It's actually Scarlet, the one to fall. Just getting a little too aggressive there towards the point. And Kindred's investing. I mean, it hits a lot of members, but I just don't know if there's a follow-up. Senna finds one. I mean, they have to use the window. They're a little bit concerned. Peace is coming in with the blade. It is shut down, though, as the hammer is the stronger melee weapon, it would seem. And they're able to get the cleanup, but Billy, that was scary.
That almost didn't happen for Ayas. And on the back of just some hero plays from Senna, Peace, and Kindred. I tell you what, 2:30 gets put on the clock here. They blow their entire ultimate economy other than the upcoming Kitsune Rush. So both teams feeling the strain here. It's going to have to be one in the neutral.
Yep. I mean, I was worried there for a second. That was, again, just a cocky play there from Chengdu. But, I mean, it's insane that they almost made that work. As now, I mean, Sylvia's got to be careful. Just gets yoinked back in and burned up with the power of the Kitsune Rush. And that's going to be Chengdu Guardians solidifying their hold here to start out second. Only a minute 40 here for Ayas to work with.
Well, so, I mean, the sound barrier will be available in the next fight for Alias, so that's going to give them a little bit of stabilization.
Oh, but Sabo's staggered.
Oh, wow. I mean, this is dirty coming out from Scarlet and
Is
Company.
Spawn holding now?
Are we going to try this?
They're running into their spawn, Billy. What is this? I mean, okay, they're gonna back off. I mean, they went for it, but they were like, okay, no, this can't work. This is too much. They back off. But
They
oh
pulled.
my God.
They pulled so much out of them, though. I mean, the cooldowns alone. I mean, there was a second there where if we don't see Sylvia get
Scarlet,
that,
what are
pin
you
out,
doing still in there?
They're having fun. We having fun. We do enjoy a bit of trolling.
Having a little bit of a little treat there for Scarlet, but the little treat is going back to spawn actually. So this should just be the fight for Ayas, but Peace again just investing the blade in fights that absolutely should be lost. I mean, it was taking a second there for Ayas to clean it up, sure, but like surely there's no way they were going to win that. So I mean, honestly, kind of fortunate that you even trade that for the beat there.
I mean, Elixia has the window here. Immortality is gone, though, and I mean, we're coming up on some ultimates. Kindred could let loose with it very quickly.
Sylvia's just off to the side all alone fighting Kindred, and multiple members from Chengdu goes down just by themselves. And I mean, now Chengdu just have free reign to go over the point and wipe out the rest of the squad. I don't know what's happening. Things are falling apart. 6 seconds. Dominic has the touch, but not going to be able to use that EMP.
Not the most optimally. And I mean, Dominic could die here holding it. Nope, they get out. But that's Sylvia down. This should be it.
Yeah, I mean, there's the EMP. I mean, they've got the window as well. A couple picks going their way, but without your tank to fight on the point, I mean, you just don't have that presence. You just don't have that capability. And Kindred really showing the difference on the other side with the Junker Queen. And I mean, that's going to be all that Ayas are able to get. Sabo goes down. Now it's just Sylvia coming back off the spawn. I mean, one more, but Noya not able to make it in time. And this is possibly the last golden box of victory here for Chengdu. The last thing in their way for becoming champions.
I mean, they've got a definite win condition here. And considering how good the spawn hold was from Chengdu, I mean, it took half of their time off, and they Alias only captures in overtime, and that put them really at a time deficit. Maybe a weird beat coming out from Noya, but I mean, the pressure was just too much. Chengdu is so suffocating in their aggression that's the big difference. That's been the difference all day. It's just been the willingness to commit. We saw a solo shatter from Sylvia onto Kindred, so Kindred solo rampages Sylvia in return. So I mean, the sass is definitely coming out in this matchup, and you know, Chengdu, I mean, they are just a point and 57, basically 58 meters away from taking the championship here in the kerfuffle, and then having a chance to go for the double later on tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so Ayas, I mean, not confident that the Rhine Bastion will be enough, so they're opting for the Pharah here. They're really leaning into trying to hold on to spawn for as long as possible, burn that down, but Chengdu Guardians have something interesting cooked up to stop it.
We will see. We will see what we got here. Sabotabi. Yeah, they're gonna try their own, and I think that Peace is
what they hunted down Noya. The Doomfist
Yeah.
of Kindred is going after the Mercy. Sabo, I mean, is able to find a pick off. I mean, but all of the picks, all of the trades go in favor of the team that has the closer spawns, and right now that is absolutely Chengdu Guardians. I mean, Ayas really needed that hold to succeed, and it's just already collapsed.
It's done. I mean, now Dominic has already gone again from one clip out of Senna. So, well, we'll see how this works. Peace back over to the trusted Genji. It looks like Zep hit a miskey there, so we'll see how this works. But man, Dominic actually bringing out the soldier here. I think that they were expecting them to stay on the Echo, and Peace is just having fun now.
It's bad to worse. I mean, Senna goes down, but already has the stick onto Noya, really just fiending to get that repeat victory here. And I mean, it's just Sylvia, like, I mean, with Dominic down, that's the first point. And Billy, you mentioned it earlier, that 57 meters probably going to be the final stand. Although with Kindred going down and Scarlet, they have overextended again. Maybe it's just that hubris getting in their way, and Ayas can move back over to the point, the lamp, to just barely stabilize Sylvia's health. And they are able to hold on for a little bit longer at least.
Oh, Sabotabi going away thanks to the kunai from Zepturn. I mean, they're still pushing in. They're about, what, 6-7 meters away. So, I mean, once Sylvia goes down here, if they go down here, this is going to be a big problem for them.
Yeah, Sylvia going for the pin onto Kindred, not able to quite find it. That could have been big, but will not be. So now it's the rush to get a lot of space here for the Guardians. Noya already down. But with the Doomfist off the table, there is a chance here. Sylvia with this window at their back, still fighting for it, but with the Baptiste going down, I mean, Senna just really wants it. The stick onto Sylvia, just nothing to work with, just dancing on the payload, trying their absolute best. But, I mean, just some beautiful shots. I mean, what do you do against this? This is just ridiculous. Noya just absolutely burned, and it is those 57 meters, the last thing keeping Ayas alive.
I mean, the tracer tracking is just too damn good. Just too good. And now you've got a free...
And Sabo's down again.
Yeah, you've got a free Meteor Strike as well. The real saving grace right now is going to be this Tac Visor. They got to get something out of it. Sylvia over to the Roadhog.
Yeah. I mean, it's been that comfort pick throughout the tournament, but... I mean, again, Guardians have shown no struggles against this at all. So I'm worried a little bit of desperation, probably, but I mean, Kindred's found out. That's definitely a good start. And my God, Dominic, that was beautiful. Okay, now there's a little bit of a chance here. They've secured a fight win, and now with the high grounds, with the space, maybe they can get a snowball going.
I mean, the real troll now is Scarlet on the Mercy still.
Yeah, pocketing who?
Pocketing who? Yeah. For what? We'll see. Oh, what a Meteor Strike to come out.
Yeah, I mean, just a beautiful dodge there. The beat to respond, but I mean, it's not even necessarily needed. The visor, I mean, just under so much pressure. Able to get Zepturn, though. Dominic not dying for nothing, but now the Baptiste in the corner all alone. Senna one clips their counterpart over to the side. Noya just getting hunted down. Senna just going absolutely wild, and Chengdu Guardians will not be denied. Dominic coming on back, but just going to be melted on up. Sabo, the last thing, able to get the stick, but just not going to be enough. Chengdu Guardians are your EU Kunoichi Kerfuffle Grand Champions.
That's pretty impressive. Coming out for them, considering what we saw happen on Colosseo and Sabotabi.
Yeah.
Gets player of the game. Player of the match for me today, though, is going to have to be Senna. Senna was just absolutely dirty. It was either them or Kindred. I gave it to supports a lot yesterday, but today, DPS difference was just insane, and Senna absolutely owning the lobbies here today. I mean, whether it be on a hit scan, or it be on a tracer, or it be on anything else that they brought out, it was just magnificent all day long. Really well done by Chengdu Guardians. Your EU Kerfuffle winners, so they take 250, or they take 175 home here for the first place win. There's $50 to second place, so all yes can get, maybe a kebab for $10. And we'll see. And in the third place, who was it? It was
Yippee.
Yippee Kari. They get $25 to split between them. So maybe a Big Mac or something. I don't know. But we'll see. But I mean, this has been a really good showcase of some good, tier 3, starting to approach that tier 2 level of talent. And it was such a safe space, and it's been such a positive journey here for them. I mean, the chat got a little spicy, but it was mostly positive, and I really love to see these initiatives go on. I mean, Calling All Heroes is huge, and seeing these little minor events, fills my big gay heart up big time. So, I mean, I'm here for the community. I love being here. I can't wait to watch the NA finals later on tonight. Thank you for casting with me. Thanks to everybody
thank you too.
behind the scenes. And anything to say before we close it out?
I mean, just a big congratulations to Chengdu, and I mean, obviously, I've got to say, huge props to IS. I mean, they were great, and good sports about it too. They did just an excellent job, so quite proud of them as well.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to everybody. May, Lou, and company. Wait.
Oh, wait.
What do we got?
We've got an interview, Billy.
We have an interview.
We do.
I did not have that on my bingo card today.
Hello, Wicca. How are you feeling after that one?
Hello. Pretty good. We recently had to drop a player, so I was a little nervous going into it, but Zeptron played really well, so we were good. We were good.
Zeptron played pretty damn well all day long. I mean, how did you find the tournament? Did you find the level of competition on the EU side worthy of expectations coming in?
Yeah, it's probably about what we expected. I think that there's a lot of good players in EU, and I think that if they all were to compete in this tournament, then like that would be really, really fun for everybody. And obviously, like the more people competing, the better. So I hope that more EU players compete next time around, because there were so few teams that ended up signing up.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fun. That was a lot of fun watching you guys. Now you have the NA final coming up here in just a little while. First of all, who do you think your opponent's going to be, and what do you think the scoreline is going to be?
Well, our first opponent is Time Mills, or I guess Debit Island. Our Zero is their name in this tournament. So, they recently won CAW, so I'm kind of expecting like a 3-0 in our favor. I think it'll be pretty easy to sweep them. We're pretty good on the Zarya comp, which I think we'll play in North America. Maybe some Reinhardt, maybe some Orisa. We have to see.
Well, I mean, I absolutely love the confidence, and I feel like for good reason after the series we just witnessed. So, best of luck to you guys with that.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that was